we believe that there has been a narrative in Kenya for a long, long time that when companies go into receivership, it's a one-way ticket to liquidation or effectively death of the company. So for us to be here to talk about a company which has been rescued from receivership, where we have sold the assets, is actually a good achievement for the country. And I must say at the onset, before we go into the detail about what we've been doing, that we do give credit to government, your ministry in particular, Waziri, that we now have a new Companies Act, we have a new Insolvency Act, which should help us to see in future companies which go into receivership coming out, and perhaps coming out stronger than they were when they went in. When we took over, and a process had already started, the process was run by the previous receivers to advertise these assets, and they were advertised internationally. They were advertised internationally and locally, and bids were received, and expressions of interest were received. 6 parties expressed interest, and of those 6, only 2 put in financial bids. When we came on board, we reviewed this process to make sure it was transparent and to make sure that we could support it. Having done that, we contacted each of the 6 bidders to see whether they were interested in bidding for these assets, and to ask them to give us firm bids. When we did that, we were only able to get 1 bidder. It's never a good position to get 1 bidder, but that's what we got. Having reviewed the process, we got 1 bidder, which was the Rai Group, and we then had to go back to the lenders, all the lenders, to ask them for approval as to whether we should go ahead to negotiate with this 1 bidder. We got that approval to negotiate, and we entered into negotiations, and we have been doing that for the last 4 or 5 months, and we are now in a position where we have signed the agreement with the bidder. The bidder is Rai Group, and the bid is to actually to buy these assets and to run this factory as a paper mill, and not to speculate or to sell the land. This is a factory which is going to be resuscitated.
Those products are sold in the region, within the East African community, and outside the East African community as well. And it is our intention, similarly, to revive pen and paper. It is not an easy task. It's an uphill task. It's a challenging task, but we feel we can turn it around, and with the support of government, with the support of our customers like yourselves. And this is where we would need support, that we have to think of our country to be industrialized, not as a trading nation. And if you look at the value chain from the seedling to the final product, this tremendous value addition in this product, and all of that employment, that revenue is spent in the domestic market.
One of the things that we are committed to as a ministry and government is to really establish and distinguish the role that the government plays well and those that the private sector should play well. And so from the outset of this program, we have been very keen to find a suitable private sector player who has the expertise and the experience to run this business, because the government's effort to run this business, or to attempt to run this, as you all know, has not been very successful. And there's no reason for us to believe any future government involvement in this is going to be any different. And so that is why we are keen and happy that we have managed to achieve the objectives, which is where we can be at a position where this business can be revived, the economy of that region can come up again with private sector capital, not necessarily the government injecting money. Government deals with policies and programs, and we let the private sector to run businesses because they have the experience,